Hello, I'm Regina McCann Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management, and welcome to our Women in Wealth series. Today, I have a new friend with me, and Mara, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
Oh, thank you so much for having me today, Patty. So I am Mara. I own a wellness brand in New Jersey. It's called StretchSource. It's a stretch studio that also offers Pilates and contrast therapy as well. So
Mm.
we're the source of everybody's wellness and fitness needs. So we're helping people with their mobility and their wellness and their performance and their ability to do activities in life without pain or limitation through stretch therapy, through contrast therapy, and through Pilates. And so people are pretty familiar with Pilates. It's been around for quite a long time. It's a kind of a form of strength training that's done on a reformer machine for core strengthening, and it's low impact. Then there's stretch therapy, which in recent years has become a little bit more known in mainstream, which is a form of body work, which is stretching that allows people to lie on a table while their stretch provider stretches their body. And then we have
Mhm.
contrast therapy, which is a little bit newer, but some people have already been learning about it, thanks to Kelly and
Ah.
Ripa, because yes, she's been all about it, her and her husband, which is contrast therapy is hot and cold therapy. So it's
Mhm.
a private spa room that we have at our wellness facility at StretchSource. And it includes a cold plunge tub. So it's a cold jacuzzi and an infrared sauna. So those are our offerings at StretchSource, and that's how we help people stay active.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so many questions. All right, well, I know Kelly Ripa is like a huge workout fiend. So, she is definitely going to be doing the latest and greatest things. Um, so I can imagine I guess you go into the cold, you plunge into the cold first and then go get the heat to warm your body back up.
Right. So it's very personal. And that's why sometimes when you go to some of these wellness spaces, they'll have like infrared saunas that multiple people can use at once, or these wellness spaces that multiple people are in. We're really about the customization and the privacy and the real a la carte special luxury experience for our people and our members that come to us. So our contrast therapy suite is a private room, and it has both the jacuzzi, the cold plunge, and the infrared. And really the experience is personal. So sometimes people are cold people, and so they'll do the cold plunge a little bit more. And some people are warm people, and so they'll do the infrared a little more. It also depends on what people's goals are. So if somebody's goal is maybe that they have inflammation in their body per se, like recovering from a workout, like Kelly loves the cold plunge. And so does
Mm.
her husband. Like you said, they're workout people. So their bodies are constantly needing that recovery care. And so they're doing the cold plunge maybe a little bit more. And so maybe they would be somebody who would start with the cold plunge. Other
Mm.
people like, for example, who have maybe arthritis. And so they're looking for more care for their muscles and sense of warmth. Then they're going to the infrared sauna, and they're maybe doing that first and ending with that as well. So it's a very individual experience that people have that space for an hour to kind of play around with each and come back and do it again. Every day, you're dealing with different situations, so you may decide to go about it differently.
For sure, for sure. And let's talk about the Pilates and the stretching. Um, well, so as a woman getting to a certain age, I hear and read more and more about, it's more about your core now and keeping your muscle mass and things like that. And I'm sure Pilates does an amazing job with the core and maintaining your muscles.
Yeah, so Pilates, that's like the focus of Pilates is it's all about your core, all about strengthening your center and your pelvis so that you have the stability for your body to then move without extra burden. And so it's very much used in physical therapy Pilates. You'll find Pilates in chiropractic office and physical therapy offices because it has that natural holistic, it's using your body weight versus like hardcore weight. So it's very adaptable to all body types. One of the things that we really take pride on at StretchSource is that we make the type of service that we provide adaptable to all people, all body types, all abilities. So we work with children age 13 and up,
Oh,
because
wow.
younger than 13, their bodies are still developing. So we do it on an individual basis. We'll maybe work with people under the age of 13, but usually 13 and up is what we're working with. And then we go into people in their senior ages, into their 90s. And then we actually work as well with strengthening, with Pilates, people with spinal cord injuries. So we have people with paralysis coming into our studio, wheelchair users, seniors, people with major spinal cord injuries, Parkinson's. So our methods and the services that we provide, we really take pride in making sure that they're adaptable for all people. So yes, women, definitely as you're getting up in age, you're also managing osteoporosis, the potential for osteoporosis, which is the thinning of your bones, which can lead to breaking of the bones. That's very common in women over 40 years old. And you have to be doing weight bearing exercises in order to keep those bones strong. And so Pilates allows that weight bearing without the weight burden, so that you're using your body weight, you're using cables. A lot of it is lying on your back. So it's also adaptable for people who's doing a lot of exercise standing becomes an issue, maybe for their back. Yes, and you're working that core.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then the stretching, is that more, I know it's, some core stuff, but is that also to help with people with injuries and things like that? Is that more like along the ideas of exercise alternatives as well?
Absolutely. It is kind of an adjunct to physical therapy. So if people have an injury or coming out of post-surgery, they definitely 100% want to go and do physical therapy first. That is a very important part of people's rehabilitation. But once they've kind of got past the rehabilitative side, there are some compensation issues that may have developed. And so we then can help them with compensation issues that might have developed due to the injury that they rehabbed, as well as just general maintenance. So we have people who have wonderful flexibility and pliability, but still come and stretch with us every week because they don't want to lose it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't work it, you'll lose it.
yeah.
And it's hard to allocate time to stretching and also to allocate time to stretching correctly. And it's very hard to stretch yourself correctly because in order to stretch yourself, you're using other parts of your body. So it's almost counterintuitive. I'm working to stretch. So the body doesn't really get the full benefit of the stretch. But when you are working with a stretch provider, and you're relaxing on the table, your body is completely relaxed, your nervous system is calm. We have a spa-like environment at our wellness facility, which is also very different than maybe some other stretch brands out there. We have individual stretch rooms because, again, we're creating that special, customized, private experience for each customer. And other stretch companies out there have one large room with multiple tables. So it's not as intimate. It's a little bit, could be a bit uncomfortable when somebody's stretching your body into awkward positions and you're like, hey buddy, like next in the bench next to you. Right. So yeah, so we create a really intimate, so it's spa-like. We have nice music playing, we have nice aroma smells going. And so it's something like between a massage and physical therapy. So it's like a massage where you're going to get that calm, relaxing experience and individual care. And then it's a little bit like physical therapy where we are working to stretch your body to help improve your mobility, or maintain what you have so that you can do those activities in life that make you happy without pain or limitation.
Oh, that's so impressive. I love it. I love it. And I immediately thought of when you were saying, it helps, for people who have been compensating. I immediately thought of all the people I know who, put off the knee replacements, put off the hip replacements, and then they're like walking sideways because they're compensating. And then once they get the bad hip or bad knee fixed, they have to go back and fix
Now
the
they
other
have a
one
bad
because
shoulder. Now they have a
they
bad back.
destroyed it because they waited so long. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Nobody is told by their doctor, you need surgery. And they're like, sign up the next day.
yeah.
Then there's
Which is probably a good thing, right?
right. Because, and then there is, because so that's so something that we kind of help people, like nobody wants to go under the knife. There's a whole lot of complications that sometimes it's necessary, right? It is important. It's there for a reason. But there are times that people come to us to kind of push out surgery as long as possible. And sometimes surgery ends up not happening because they just had been neglecting their flexibility and their pliability, and they just hadn't been stretching. And once they start stretching with us, like you said, they get out of pain and then they don't even need to have the surgery anymore.
Right. No, I hear you. Wow. So if, you guys offer amazing services, and I know you work very hard at providing everything and making sure that you take good care of your clients. So if people want to learn more about what you're doing and how you can help them, where would they go to find that out?
So they can go here first. I was like, which way do I point? They could go
You
here
got
first.
it. You got it.
I love a good QR code. So that is actually the StretchSource website. So that is a good way to
Okay.
just kind of get an instant understanding of what we do and what our offers are on how to find us. We are located in Boonton, New Jersey, which is Morris County, New Jersey. And then on social media, you can find us at StretchSource. For sure at StretchSource on Instagram, on Facebook. And then another just offshoot of what we do at StretchSource is I do have an academy of education as well. So it's called Pliability Stretch Academy. So the method of stretching that we provide at our studio, I actually am the creator of, and it's called Pliability Stretch. And that method of stretching that we provide that I created has become recognized nationally and actually internationally as a technique of training for fitness and wellness professionals. So I have different fitness and wellness professionals, such as personal trainers, massage therapists, acupuncturists, who come to the academy to learn the method of stretching that we do at StretchSource, and then they get CEU credits. So anybody who's a fitness and wellness professional who's looking to dive into stretch therapy, they can also find us at pliabilitystretch.com.
That is awesome. I love it. I love it.
A whole
So,
nother conversation.
I know. Yeah, that's actually really a great way to, let people know about what you're doing, and then teaching then other people to help people that aren't so, close to your location. So that's fantastic. So
Exactly.
tell us about some of the challenges that you've faced as a professional woman.
I would say my biggest challenges as a professional woman is that I'm not only a business owner, but I also work in the business. So I actually
Hmm.
stretch people. And
Hmm.
then as a woman, I'm also a mom. So I have 3 kids. At the moment, I have one in high school, one in middle school, and one in elementary school.
Oh, God bless you.
So it's going to be quite an interesting year. And I would say just as a parent, there's challenges, but I think as a female, as a mom, it's extra difficult for us. Definitely my husband is an entrepreneur as well, but I'm certainly the one who's getting my kids ready for school in the morning. I am picking them up after school and I'm doing all activities. So I have to be able to allocate my time to my business. I have a very specific amount of time, and I have to be very clear as to what those boundaries are and what I'm able to accomplish in that amount of time. And so we're really talking a 9 a.m. to about a 2:30 time slot every day that I can allocate to running 2 businesses, right? I have the
Mhm.
wellness facility, so StretchSource, and then I also have the academy. And so when you think about the amount of time you have, that's pretty limited. I only have 9 to 2:30. I don't really take a lunch break, so I am going that whole time from 9 to 2:30. I'm snacking on a granola bar or something like that, but I don't really have a lunch break during that time because I just can't get it in. And
Mhm.
and so that kind of balance, work-life balance, I have to be very clear about it. And it's a challenge. The other thing that's challenging for me personally, I don't know, again, if it's so much being a woman, but I didn't go to college. So I was a professional dancer, and I started professionally dancing when I was 15.
Mm.
And I retired from professional dance when I was 29. And that's when I became a mother. And so part of running business is I'm very much learning on the job on how to run a business, what's involved in running a business. I was even sitting with a dance friend. I had dinner with an old colleague from the dance world last night, and she's about to become an owner of a business. And we were talking about how in the dance world, we didn't really learn certain skills when it comes to administration. So the simple thing like writing a Word document or creating labels, we've had to learn that as we go, because we didn't go to college for it, for
Mhm.
business school. So those have been big challenges. And I would say, talking with you even, a big one has been financial, is understanding the finances of business and understanding, how to allocate your finance, cash flow, expenses, revenue, net worth, gross, all these kinds of terms that I've had to learn as I go. And I'm celebrating this year 6 years in business, which I think is,
Congratulations. That's
thank you.
awesome.
So we're 6 years running
Wow.
StretchSource, and we made it through COVID, right? Which
Yeah.
was a
Woo.
challenging time
Yeah,
for all
seriously.
businesses, all economics, but specifically the fitness and wellness industry really got hit hard. A lot of people think it was the food and restaurant, but we were actually the last industry that was allowed to open our doors
Oh my
after
God.
COVID. So we had to kind of recoup those losses for quite some time, and it took a good. We're still kind of feeling the pain from that, but we're getting there. And so financially understanding how to run a business and keep it going and getting through challenging times, that's been difficult as well. And
Right.
and the last one I would say, if you don't mind, just one more thing, I would say networking. So
Oh,
men seem to have this like internal network that women don't naturally get or have, because sometimes we are moms that are like have been home with a child for a period of time maybe, and then are going back into the world of work, the workforce. And so, if you went to college, you maybe have some connections from college. I did not have those again. Then I went into the dance world. Then I went into being a mom. So when I returned into the workforce as a business owner, when my youngest of 3 was about to go into academic school, so kindergarten. So we're talking about a solid like good 10 years where I was not in the workforce. Coming back in, that network of professionals that you trust and know has been another
right.
challenge.
Yeah, and you're right. Men are naturally very good at networking. My favorite thing, and I make fun of them all the time. My brother's like, "I got a guy." You're talking about something. He's like, "I got a guy."
Yeah,
Like, oh God,
right.
but
Like
they
we
do.
have to
I
be like,
mean,
I got a great woman for you.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
got a great woman. Like we
yeah,
have to, and that's one thing. Like that's how you and I met, right? Like we went through a
yep.
wonderful women's network, and how lucky we are that we found that network.
Thank you,
And that,
Sheldon.
yeah, thanks, Sheldon. That's it, to network, right? Like
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. And then really lifting each other up and making sure that we are creating that network, and then referring to each other and really paying attention to when somebody says, hey, I got that woman for you. I got
Yep.
that person
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a great thing for us to work towards.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
Mm.
it's important. I think it's important because like I said, men have created that. They understand it. They do it. And we really have to make that same thing happen for the women in the workforce and the business owners out there.
Yeah, I completely hear you. And I also understand your pain with learning how to run a business and is constantly learning. I've owned my practice for 8 years now. I've been a financial advisor for over 25, but I know how to run the business. It's like, but you have to work, so that's working in the business. You have to also work on the business. So I'm a big proponent of working on the business as well. And it's a constant learning, which is good. I mean, I get a little bit better each year about running a business.
Right. And the hard thing is that a lot of people who have businesses like mine, specifically brick and mortar wellness or fitness companies that are brick and mortar, do not work in the business. They are a business owner and that's it. They show up once a week to run the
Right.
numbers with their staff, make sure things are, and then they leave. And I just can't do that, because that's not why I got into this. I got into this because I love working and actually helping people, on the ground. And I just can't pull it. You need to know yourself, right? Like you need to
Yeah.
know why you do what you do and what wakes you up every morning. And for me, it's creating those opportunities and always creating opportunities for people. Like even the networking, knowing that I'm networking and giving an opportunity to someone else. I just like creating opportunities for people. And so the fact that I have a team, for me, I've created work opportunities and opportunities for them to also help people. And I can't step away from that. I couldn't just do the business. And that's a struggle for me, because it's very hard, like you said, to work in it and on it at the same time. It's extremely, extremely challenging.
Yeah.
But we need to know ourselves and what, wakes us up in the morning and drives us every day. And be true and authentic to ourselves, and it works out somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. Well, let's take a time machine and look down the road, and tell us what your retirement vision looks like.
Yes. So I definitely at some point want to be able to enjoy like my family. And I don't know if I would ever retire. I don't know if I would ever completely retire. I'm kind of building those work situation where at some point I could maybe pull out and just have the business running if I wanted to. But I'm one of those worker bees. I'm one of those
Hmm.
people. So retirement for me isn't not working, but retirement is having the options to work when I want to. And so
Exactly.
yes. And so like I definitely see myself, having a home somewhere else that's like warm and cozy in the winter that I could get the heck out of like the upper eastern
Taking
coast.
me with you. Taking me with you.
Girl, pack your suitcases. We're going somewhere warm. And like, I mean, I
Yeah.
I love the changes in seasons, but I struggle in the winter in the darkness of this part of the country. The darkness is hard and I need sunlight. So
Mm.
I do feel like I would love retirement to include a home somewhere where I could escape, even just on the weekends, to somewhere warm, from the months of like December to like March,
Yeah.
maybe. I
I'm
don't think,
so with you. So
right?
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I'd ever be able to move permanently, especially I'm just the kind of
Mm.
person who's not going to move away from my children. And so
Yeah.
my children are here. I'm going to be here. I want to be able to be around. I thankfully was lucky enough to be a stay-at-home mom when my children were little. And I want to have that same ability with my grandchildren. God willing, I should have a lot of
Yeah.
grandchildren. And I want to
I love
be
it.
able to be a grandma that's there and available. The kids, my kids need to work. I want to be able to help them out. So that's what retirement is for me, being available to my family, being able to work when I want to work, not because I have to work, and
Hmm.
and having that second home.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. So, wow, we are like a lot on the same page with the retirement vision. So into that. But thank you
Where's your home
so
going to
much.
be? Where's your home
Same
going to be?
thing. Every time I go somewhere, like I go to conferences and I'll go to a conference and it's either I rule that city out or I'm like, oh, put that on the list for us to revisit. Like I went to a meeting down in Fort Mill, South Carolina about 2 years ago. And it was never even like, I don't even know it existed. Right. So I get
Mm-hmm.
there and I'm like, look, and it's such a charming town. I'm like, oh my gosh, I came back and I'm like, Joe, we have to put that on our list. We have to go back and revisit that,
Yep.
and then we were
North
just in,
Carolina's
yeah,
hot. I know
right.
somebody who just bought a property there, and it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
And
going to be somewhere warm for the winter, just like you, and then keep a house or a condo, something small here because, I want to be close to my family.
I got to throw one more out. Have you been to Key West?
I have not.
Put it on your list.
Okay. All
There must
right.
there
I'll
must be a
check it
conference
out.
there at some point.
There better be.
Put it out into the world. Maybe it will
Okay.
happen. Right? Put it
I'm
out
with
there.
you on that. Oh, well, this has been such a joy. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining me. I love what you're doing. And hey, if anybody's out there listening to this and they're in your neck of the woods, they should definitely go check you out. So thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Absolutely. And hopefully I'll see you next year at This Is It again with
Yes,
Sheldon. Yeah, she's amazing.
absolutely.
She's
That's
amazing.
amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And
Thank
thanks everyone else for joining us too. I'm Regina McCann Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management. You can follow me on Facebook and YouTube at Forge Wealth, Instagram we're Forge Wealth Management, and LinkedIn it's Regina McCann Hess. Your call to action today is go look into if you're near Mara, go check her stuff out. But if you're not, look into Pilates, look into stretching. And what was the cold, hot, what do
the
they call
cold.
that?
Well, yeah. So contrast therapy, cold plunge,
Contrast
and
therapy.
infrared sauna.
Yeah, definitely check those out to see how it can help your health. So with that, have a great day. Appreciate you
Thanks.
being here.
Bye.